Hey YouTube, today we're going to be fixing a crack in my windshield of my new Toyota Tundra. I was driving down the road and a rock kicked up and got me. So I got one of these kits here. I'll put a link in the description. Usually they say you can fix this if it's less than a quarter. So mine seems to be less than a quarter, even though kind of you can see it spiders pretty good underneath there. So we'll be injecting this glass resin from the kit into it, and we'll see how good it looks. Alright, so you start off, they say you're supposed to kind of pick out any loose pieces of glass that are in your crack here. I think I don't have too many. We've gotten it pretty good here. So I think I got all the loose glass out. And then you take a alcohol prep pad that comes in the kit. Just clean her off. So let that dry, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so I heated up the windshield a little bit just by running the heater and the defroster inside, and then I also used a heat gun just real lightly because you don't want to do a real abrupt temperature change or you could make it worse. And then I put some tape down here to catch any resin that may leak out. So I've got our little stick-on circle that comes. You want to put this with the right over the correct there with this tab facing up. You want to make sure it adheres really well, because this is the main thing that's going to keep the resin from leaking out. So you get that. Then it also comes with this piece. So you're going to peel off this top. Kind of green layer here, if we can get it. Looks like it's slowly coming off there. And we're going to stick this on right over there. Make sure that's on real good. Alrighty. Then we're going to take our resin here, take the cap off, and just drip it up all the way to the top of this level here. There's the cap. Gets to the top pretty quickly. Now we're going to take our syringe and we're going to apply a vacuum to the system. So you put the syringe in here real tight, press it down, and then pull all the way up and lock it in place. You can kind of already see some air starting to work its way out. And to help it, you can kind of tap, not too hard because you don't want to make that crack worse, but tap here, and that'll help some of the air bubbles get out of there. Because if you leave air in that crack, then it'll be visible. And you can see here the air bubbles kind of being sucked out of this crack. So it's been about 20 minutes. I can still see air kind of working its way out of this crack here. So what I'm going to do is actually take it off and put another vacuum on it. See if I can get even more air out, because it's in there tight. I'm going to hold this down. See if we can get even more air out that time. All right, so I've had this on there for about 45 minutes, which is a lot longer than the 10 minutes they recommend holding a vacuum. I think I don't see any, there's still some air bubbles in there, but I don't really see much more coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And on this part, take it off there. You reset your syringe. Get all the air out of there. And now we're going to kind of try and force that resin into the chip. Put it in there. Reset. In. We're going to apply pressure now. We'll get the clip to lock in here. So we're applying the pressure, try and get the resin worked into this chip here. And we'll let this sit for 20 minutes. Then when I come back, I'm actually going to press it even down further. You don't want to do it too hard, or this will kind of pop up and the resin will leak out, which I know from watching other videos. But you apply some more force and you hold that for about 10 minutes. That should get it worked in there about as best you can. So right now, here's where we're at. You can see kind of a big air bubble there. So I'm going to go to press on that plunger and see if that helps kind of get that out of there. I'll go from there. All right. So I'm just going to kind of carefully just depress a little bit on this plunger. You don't want to do too much, but you can kind of judge by how much resistance you're getting. And I'm just going to try and hold this for about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, so we got that syringe off. Now we're just going to kind of remove this. Imagine I don't want to pull it off too hard, because you could possibly pull that plug of resin out of the hole there. We'll see if we can kind of peel this guy off first. See if I can get my razor under there. It's a little bit slow going here, but just being careful not to pull it off. Oh, there you go. There's one way to do that. I got a little bit of resin on my windshield doing that. So that we'll try and get this guy pulled off. So there goes that tab. Super handy. Just kind of work it through here. This is a little bit more difficult part of the process, I guess, than they would lead you to believe. But the good news is that resin hasn't cured or anything yet, which I was afraid it might, since I spent quite a bit longer on the first couple steps. Usually they say 10 minutes for the suction. I probably left it on there about 45. They say about 20 minutes for the pressure, and I probably did at least 30. So it's definitely looking better. We're still not done yet. We still have to apply our you'll see in like the last step, but we have this little slide we put on there. I'm glad I put gloves on for this part. It's a bit messy. I can work in here. That's good, and we'll try and get any kind of resin off with our razor blade. This is working pretty good now. Just getting a nice smooth surface for that final step. You can kind of see where that air bubble was. All right, so I got it all cleaned up. My camera died there while I was filming. So we're kind of on the final step here. So this step, you put a little drop, just kind of one right in there. You work it in. All right, so my video cut out on me again. But basically, I cleaned it up, and then I applied another drop of the resin and put this plastic piece on, and then I let it sit in the sun for a couple hours. So we should be done, or at least close to done now. Key is you kind of want to twist this off rather than pull it straight up, because you might pull some of the resin out. So I pulled it up there. As you can see here, there's still a little bit of a blemish there. It's still uneven on the surface. So what I'm going to do is kind of try and remove some of this again. Looks significantly better than it did before. And I think I'll even try and do one more drop of the resin, see if I can get that to cure. Make this look even better. Because it looks pretty good now, but I think I can get it a little bit better. So I'm going to apply one more drop here. And then I'm going to apply this paper back on. And then I'm going to squeegee out any of the air here. Oop, don't want to do that. I may do that a couple more times just to see if I can build up some more resin. It's already looking better in that one little divot there. So here's the after shot. I got it all cleaned up using the razor blade and some rubbing alcohol. Just gonna get the focus on there. Definitely a dramatic improvement. You can still see the shadow kind of on the white paper there. Let me take the paper down, see how it looks without that. Here it is without the paper on there. See if I can get it to focus. So definitely still a mark. I may try and just inject it again, but you can definitely see some improvement, and I'll put up a before clip right after this so we can kind of compare them directly. But overall, I'm not too disappointed. I think if I inject it one more time, I might get a little better result, but we shall see.